back to the channel, everyone, for a much anticipated video that people have been wanting. And today we are going over a build breakdown on my 1992 Silvia S13. Before I get a start on today's video, I just wanted to say sorry about the wind again today and the noise. I feel like I say this every bloody video at the moment, but the weather at the moment is so unpredictable here. It was pretty much raining like 20 minutes ago. Now it's sunny, and now there's wind everywhere. I can't predict it, so I'm trying my best, but yeah. So today's video is going to be in like kind of two parts. It'll be one video, it's going to be a longer video, so I hope you're keen to stay around because this shit has a lot of stuff done to it. This car, I'm going to start off with the things that have been done and then the things I'm going to be doing, because it's a lot. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so this is my Silvia. Pretty much with this car, I'm going to start at one end and we're just going to make our way back on things that have been done, and then I'll start on the things that we are going to be doing. The body kit, you can tell it is not finished at all, but we've got a BN Sports kit. I have the side skirts in the garage at the moment because they aren't bolted up. We've got a BN Sports kit with shaved indicators, all fiberglass. I've got wide body 25mm front flares. I have the side skirts in the shed and the BN Sports rear bar. The thing sits pretty bloody low, considering it's on 18s. It looks stupid on the sides, but sides sit just as low as well. And there we are. And as you can see, these are all in high fill primer. The rear bar is still getting repaired. This one is halfway through getting repaired, and the side skirts are in a similar situation. Pretty much, I bought this kit. I was running the fenders previously, but I bought the kit and it was damaged and that, so I've been learning fiberglassing. I've rebuilt a lot of pieces on it, and now it's getting closer to where I want it. As for other exterior pieces on this car, we have double projector headlights with the GDR letterbox style grille. They're just all roughly bolted on, that's why they look on the piss. I used to have those chrome indicators, but I like the OEM orange, so I've got OEM indicators. On the front we have SSR, Gartmeyer, Maybachs. I do have a matching rear pair, but they do not fit under the stock guards. So the fronts on this are 18 by 10 plus 13 with a 8mm spacer to clear the brakes on it, which we'll get into. And the rears, the reason they don't fit is they are an 18 by 11 plus 5. So as you can tell that I will be going wide body with this car a bit later on. I'll get into that as well. So at the moment I've got one 34 stocky, and the other side's got like a Monterey VR5, which I do have a matching pair, but they are destroyed. The other one's cracked and doesn't hold air and shit. So that's that one there. I wish the other one was okay, because these actually kind of look pretty tough for skidders, I guess. But anyway, oh well. We've got I think these are the D-Max style tail lights. I think that's what they are. Not 100% sure. And just some ghetto ass exhaust. We've got replica Ganador mirrors. They're kind of shit, but you can't see anyone that says Ganador mirrors are good. I've never really driven the genuine ones, but I can tell you the replica ones, you can't see shit. They suck. They're just for looks, but they'll probably end up staying anyway. So that's pretty much it at the moment for the exterior. The exterior is nothing too pretty at the moment. It's a work in progress. This whole car's a work in progress. I do not have a bonnet stay, so this is getting filmed one-handed. But we have a SR20 DE VCT motor. This is out of an S13 that was imported from Japan. I don't know too much if it's an Ortec motor or not. I don't know, but it's got pretty much just a shortened intake system, Jasma extractors, not much else really. It doesn't have the S15 gearbox in it. It's got a 5-speed SR20 DET gearbox with a Exedi heavy duty clutch, or maybe button clutch, one of the two. Once again, not 100% sure, although this came with the car when I bought it. It's had the wiring loom redone to match an S15 ECU from what I know. And other than that, and a battery relocation. Mishimoto radiator with no fan shroud, so it doesn't get hot, but it doesn't like sitting. Depends how deep in I want to go. It's got hard race engine mounts and a stock gearbox mount. It was all solid, but I hated the feeling. So yeah, stock brake system up here. We've got, other than that, I think that's pretty much it for engine bay. The motor itself has like rocker stoppers and stuff like that, but you know, just kind of basic SR20 things. For an NA, this thing moves. I love the NA power out of this. Is actually quite impressive for what it is. So yeah, I guess that's enough about the motor. There's not too much about it really. It's got, we'll go on to suspension. It's got BC gold coilovers all round with camber plates. Drop this. Now, you're not going to really be able to see it. You're just going to have to trust me on it, but because the brakes are in the way. Alright, under the car we've got a modified cross member, so the steering rack's moved forward, I think 25mm from memory. We've got a Maxima tie rod ends and S14 inner tie rods. We've got a cut and shut knuckles by Nice Vibe for lock kit. We've got a 25mm extended lower control arms. We've got adjustable caster arms. I think that's it off the top of my head for underneath. One thing that will be getting done is I got no lock anymore because I'm now on 18, so I'll be cutting the tubs for obvious reasons. It does have R33 GTST front brakes, so I've got 4 piston front calipers with 296mm rotors. That's a recent upgrade, you can see them there. Nice and chunky boys. No more 15s for this bad boy, unfortunately, but I'm going to need the braking power for this thing for sure. So they're 100% a must. Don't cheap out on your stopping system. Just because you can accelerate doesn't mean you can slow down. Remember that. Alright, moving on to the inside of the car. Now the inside of this thing is filthy. I haven't cleaned it. I'm not going to clean it. It needs new door cards. I did retrim them, but the actual, well, one, it's falling off, and two, that's actually coming apart. But this is a, I should have said it, S13 Q's model. So we've got all the fancy electrics. We've got digital climate control, all that kind of stuff. We've got a Vertex style steering wheel, a really tight short shifter, drift button, bride seats, no rear seats because we don't need them where we're going. You can't fit in them anyway. Anyone that says rear seats are usable in a Silvia are lying. You can't get in there. What else for interior? Roof's been redone. I'm actually really happy with this job, and I'm impressed it's never come down. And all the interior was vinyl painted to match. Same with the center console is done, and the glove box. Aftermarket sound system, head unit, speakers, tweeters, a disgustingly cracked dash. Like, actually, I don't think I've ever seen a dash that bad before. That's why that's on there. To be honest, I don't think there's much else for the interior really. The bucket seats are the biggest thing, and holy shit, they were so worth it. They were so worth the time and money and effort to put these things in. They do sit a little high. I want to get better rails so I can sit them lower, or just make my own rails because they do sit quite high, but they hug me so well and they're so good. So good. 100% recommend bucket seats for your car. And actually one of the comfiest seats, they're comfier than my Civic stock seats for sure. So once again, I cannot get under this thing at all to show you. So you're just gonna have to trust me on this one. I've got an S13 5-speed turbo gearbox, tail shaft straight into a R33 or S14 R200 diff with a 411 in it, which is welded for drifting obviously. I do have an R200 LSD that I want to put in it. It's really tightly shimmed, and for street use it'll be a lot nicer and legal. So we've got a big R200 diff to hold it. It did have an R180 in it. Not going to cut it. It was whining and crunching already, and it's NA, so that's not good enough. We've got 5-stud S14 hubs. And I forgot to say, I've also got GK Tech 5-stud hub conversions in the front, so we're all 5-stud now because 5114 is best. In terms of suspension and arms, BC Golds in the rear again, go extremely low as you can see. I've got just good old Chinesium caster arms and camber arms, and I've got hard race rear toe arms. Yes, rear toe arms. So hard race rear toe arms, eBay, camber and caster, and just I've got factory lower control arms with the, I've redone the ball joints in them because they were shit. Other than that, that's pretty much it for that, because that's the whole rear end. So the whole rear end's done except for the lower control arms, which I don't think will change. It does have solid subframe mounts in it, and I'm pretty sure it's had a strengthened subframe stuff welded into it, because yeah, this thing grips up and also slides extremely well. Boot, I'm not even going to bother opening the boot. It is currently a shit show of double battery jigged up system to get it out here, because I've gone through 2 batteries just leaving it sitting there. And there's a mess everywhere to try, and I've just got this rear bar like fixed up and mounted, so it was a lot of effort to get that to line up correctly. So there's shit everywhere in the boot, but nothing in the boot except like a subwoofer and that at the moment, which is all going anyway. It does have an aftermarket Walbro fuel pump, but still it's not going to be big enough. It'll be bigger. I think I'm going to go like a 460 or even a surge tank, so with a fuel cell in it. So I'll see what the plan is with that one. So that's a quick, off the top of my head, rundown. There is a lot of stuff I've probably missed, but that is a quick breakdown of what this car is at the moment. A lot of parts are actually missing off of it for a reason. So we'll now get into like the part 2 of this video, which is the plans for this, which is a way longer list. So things for this car that I will be doing: number 1, obviously rear wide body. It's going to be completely molded, no pot rivet shit. It'll be a molded 50mm wide body, so I can run big wheels for obvious reasons. Obviously the BN kits will be done. It'll have I want a D-Max style roof wing and an S13 Series 2, or the kooky rear wing, because I love the look of them, and that will be getting molded on, well not molded on, but like molded to fit properly. So that will be cosmetic wise. For the most part, window tint and that, obviously, kind of things like that, bits of bobs I find along the way, but that'll be the cosmetics, and obviously resprayed. These are not necessarily the wheels I will be keeping, but for now they're a really good tester of what I want to do for front and rear size wise, so they can stay for now. So that's the terms of body. When it comes to engine in this, SR20 and whole drop-in package is going, and we're going an RB swap. At this stage, my current mindset is RB 2530, fully built, big turbo, and a 25 det gearbox with a custom one-piece tail shaft. That's why it's got the R200 and that in it already, and that's the reason for the big brakes. So that's a whole lot of work in itself. Custom loom, custom ECU, custom tunes. Like, we could do a fucking 30-minute video on that alone, of the things it needs to get that motor running alone. Other things we're doing: half cage, which I have picked up. So we'll venture away from the car for a moment, and we'll go look at some parts I actually already have for this vehicle, and things that, you know, I just need to get done. So I picked this cage up the other day. It came straight out of an S13. The bar along the middle lines up perfect as a harness bar if I want it. It's a bolting cage, so it's legal in Queensland. So I can run it on the street. Just get a modification plate. Obviously I've got to get everything mod plated. So amongst all the other crap I've got, you can see I've obviously got the side skirts here for it as well. I might go take one out and put it on the car to show you, but they don't sit on very well. On my little goodie wall here, you'll see some parts of the RB. So I have a Garrett 3582 off a Falcon with a T51R mod and a V-band rear housing welded on. It needs to be rebuilt. You can see that ain't spinning shit. But I picked it up super cheap, and I really wanted to learn how to redo seals in the turbo. So worst case, if it doesn't work out, I'll just get a new one. But that's the turbo. We've got a fake Greddy intake manifold for a forward facing, big, I think 82mm throttle body, Chinesium bloody exhaust manifold. This is probably not what I'm going to run at all, and if I do run it, it's just going to be as a mock-up thing and just to get the car driving, etc. Which the first 100% thing that I will be doing if I do run this, we're upgrading the size of that wastegate, because that's 38mm I'm pretty sure, and that's way too small. I need at least a 50, so that will be getting cut up here and a big one put on, and then probably a brace here so it doesn't break. I don't know if I'll end up running it, but it came with one of the motors. Over here you can see there's one of the R200 diffs I have. That's the LSD one. And I've got another diff over there, and I've got a bunch of parts up there for it. You can see this is most likely going to be the front mount intercooler I use for the turbo setup. It does fit reasonably well, and if you have a look over here with all this other crap, you can see roughly some of the shit I need to do. There's a bunch, obviously. This all alone is just going to be engine stuff, which, that's, like I said, we could get in this for our oil pumps, you know, drains, retainers. It's going big cams, 272s both sides for that fat old 6-seal lump. Forged bottom, man, you know, time belt, water pump, tail shaft, wastegate, you know, the whole works. I want to go flex fuel. So yeah, there's a bunch. Now, in terms of motor stuff, I also have the motors already. I've been collecting a lot of shit over the past couple of years. Fortunately, this thing's been off the road for way too long and it annoys me sometimes, but it is what it is. So this is what we've got at the moment. I have a stripped down RB30 here. There are no pistons or anything with that. That is currently in this little fancy little kid's box. I don't even know what drawer it's in. Bingo. I was going to reuse them. They're in pretty good condition. I was just going to put new bearings and rings and that on them, but I don't know if I'll do it. I'll probably just end up forging it. That's sitting there, rusting, typical. The reason that I've stopped where I've stopped, trying to get the crank out, but to get the crank out, I've got to get this spindle off the crank and it is seized on there. So I'm going to have to come up with a little way to get that off so I can get the oil pump off, so I can get the crank out. That motor can go off to the machine shop. It was actually in pretty good condition. None of these were scored or anything like that. So obviously it's just going to have to go get honed, etc. because right now it's not looking the best in there. It's not too bad, but no scoring or anything. So that's that. And this is my RB25 DET motor. So top end off, I'll wrap the bottom end up for a rainy day if I ever want to put that in a different motor. Stripping this whole thing down, I don't know nothing about this motor. I bought it sight unseen and it was in the bloody rain, but I don't really need any of it. VCT cam going, I'm not doing VCT. I'll be putting big cams in it, springs, retainers, oil restrictors, you know, all that shit. There's the gearbox, RB25 det gearbox, and the front piece of a tail shaft. So I've got the yoke for a custom tail shaft. Once again, that's in pretty good condition from what I know. I've got an RB radiator here. I've got a heavy duty clutch and a flywheel for it. I've got an oil filter, cooler and relocation kit. I've got sumps, harmonic balancer, water pump staff, alternators. I've collected a lot of shit over the past, you know, year or two. So I just got to actually pull my finger out and do it, because a lot of this is once again learning curve. And now that I'm really shit myself since how the Civic blew up, but I think if we do this properly, we should be all good. Probably end up with a Helltech and that in it. So that's a quick overrun of Silvia parts coming up. Things that I need to do, things that I want to do. Once again, I've probably missed a bunch of shit because I can't remember it all. There's a lot with this car, but so from what I know, I'm pretty sure that's kind of all she wrote for this car. Once again, there is a lot of stuff that I can't remember doing. Can't remember when I bought it. I've had it a long time, probably 3.5 years now or so. So there's been a lot of different stuff. We've had different shafts, you know. But the main overview, that's kind of what we're going with. It'll obviously be getting tubbed as well. I probably didn't say that. Bigger tubs and that, so I can have better lock. But this car does drive really well, and the temptation just to bolt the body kit on, register it and go drive it NA again is huge because I miss this car a lot. But I'm not going to go anywhere with it. That's where it was when I took it off the road pretty much. So I really want to pull my finger out and get this car getting worked on. This car does mean a lot to me and I don't ever want to get rid of it. So I'm excited. I've always had this vision in my head and it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every time. So it's something I'm very excited for. I do want to work on it a lot. I do want, and I can't wait for it to be finished. I love it. Even just driving it out today gave me like the biggest smile. So yeah, I think that will probably be all for this video. Once again, I'm not 100% sure on all the things that I need, but that's a good enough build breakdown. Definitely bigger than the other cars I've got. So lots of things planned for this future of this car, and I 100% want to film a lot of it. I won't film it all, but I want to film a lot of it, the journey of it, so it's going to be exciting. I want to thank you all for watching today, and I look forward to working on this thing in the future, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.